White House, and now recognize Chairman Schmitt.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Cruz. As chairman of the Subcommittee on the Constitution, I'm glad that we've convened this hearing. Universal injunctions effectively didn't happen for the first 200 years of our Constitution. Yet they become a fixture in our legal system in the last 20, especially when Donald Trump occupies the White House. The courts can play an important role in reining in an executive branch that's out of control. This is especially important when reining in actions by unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats who act outside of the scope of their congressionally authorized authority. But what happens when Article 3 has no limits? As listed in the hearing's title, Alexander Hamilton called the judiciary the least dangerous branch in Federalist 78. And historically, in Federalist 78, Historic was responding to the anti-federalist Brutus, who was raising the alarm bell over the seemingly unchecked power of Article 3 to subvert the will of the people and the rights of citizens. Hamilton responded that judges will be forced to behave because nothing guarantees that their orders are enacted. Judges can't raise an army. They can't collect taxes or duties. As Hamilton said, the judiciary must ultimately depend on the aid of the executive branch to enforce its judgments. To date, the Trump administration has followed every court order, enforced every judgment. It's no one's desire to put Hamilton's theory into practice. That is why this hearing is so important. We are not a juristocracy. We do not want the judiciary to subjugate itself. We want to keep it from subjugating others. I agree with Hamilton that there is no liberty if the power of judging is not separated from the legislative and executive powers. But this runs both ways. There can be no democratic accountability, no Republican government with an overly activist judiciary that allows over 600 judges to wield limitless power. On one particularly troubling example, district court judges have not been assigned cases randomly or transparently. In March, Chief Justice Boasberg, right here in D.C., has found himself into 4 major Trump cases, a statistical impossibility. Boasberg took over the Alien Enemies Act and ordered planes to be turned around in the dead of night, despite not being the emergency judge on duty that night. It seems clear that as chief judge, he has play and he wants to be able to grab cases for himself. I've had firsthand experience with this non-random case assignment in our federal appellate court system. When I was Attorney General of Missouri, I often found myself litigating in the 8th Circuit, a circuit of unique makeup. Of the 11 judges in the circuit, 10 had been appointed by Republicans. Yet, the one Democrat appointee, Judge Jane Kelly, found herself hearing nearly every political sensitive case in the circuit. Time after time, case after case, miracle after miracle, for the Democrats, Judge Kelly would be there for nearly every politically sensitive case. This was not due to the good luck of Judge Kelly. The circuit clerk's office, which assigned cases to appellate panels, was filled with her former clerks and ideological compatriots. In practice, they set the nationwide policy by rigging case assignment. Another issue is the universal injunction is a judicially created remedy while Congress set up a procedure for group relief under Rule 23. As Solicitor General John Sauer recently argued compellingly, the proper avenue for group relief is under Rule 23 class actions. Rule 23 was designed to ensure a structured and fair approach to broad legal challenges. I'm hopeful that the Supreme Court will curb injunctions to restore proper judicial limits and respect the separation of powers. A district judge blocking deportations is as absurd as directing military strategy. This is activism, not judgment, not the rule of law, and it undermines the voters' mandate to secure our borders. Enough is enough. We must act here in the Senate to fix these issues. Article 1 isn't alone in this. The Judicial Conference and the Supreme Court must get their houses in order as well. Does our Constitution establish a judiciary that resolves cases or sets policy? In this committee, do we confirm judges to take the bench or to take the podium? The founders clearly intended the former. It's time for a reset. The American people elected President Trump to secure our border and restore our nation. I look forward to the testimony of the professors, and I urge this committee to advance reforms that uphold the separation of powers.
Thank you.